It may sound like something out of a science fiction novel, but it is already a reality thanks to the proliferation of electric vehicles, EVs. Soon you will be a passenger in an autonomous vehicle rather than the driver. This will happen at the same time that it seems impossible to travel several hundred miles without using a single drop of gas. Imagine if one day you get in your driverless car in the morning, and it recognizes that it is a weekday, and so assumes that you want to go to work, unless you give it specific instructions to the contrary. After dropping you off, rather than you having to pay for parking, the vehicle returns to its location. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Do you believe it's even possible? Let's have a look at the video of today, in which we will talk about how autonomous driving functions in electric vehicles. Before you do that, make sure you subscribe to TechSen. Why should we wait then? Let's begin right away. Why do we need self-driving cars? Renub Research, market research, and consultancy organization forecast that the market for autonomous vehicles in the United States would grow to an industry worth $186 billion by the year 2030, up from $4 billion in 2021, based on a report that was just recently published by the business. It has been suggested that riding in an autonomous vehicle is not only more convenient than driving oneself, but also more secure. That is, if the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is correct and human error is responsible for as much as 94% of all road accidents, then perhaps it makes sense to rely more on technology to help keep us safe. Accidents that are caused by potentially harmful human behaviors or situations, such as speeding, reckless driving, drowsiness, distracted driving, or impairment due to alcohol or drugs, will not threaten the safety of the person operating the driverless car or any other passengers in the vehicle. Because autonomous vehicles would be able to communicate with one another and reroute themselves based on factors such as traffic, accidents, and construction. This innovation might also result in decreased congestion on the roadways. The inner workings of a self-driving car. According to Jason Fisher, Executive Chief Engineer of Autonomous Technology at General Motors GM, driverless vehicles have a great many advantages. There are multiple benefits to autonomous vehicles. Fisher adds that ultimately, we aim to eliminate human driver error while creating more time and space for what truly matters in life and improving mobility for those who cannot currently drive due to age, disability, or other factors. In the end, we want to improve mobility for those who cannot currently drive due to age, disability, or other factors. Because they are equipped with technology such as cameras, radar, sonar, LiDAR, GPS, and infrared sensors, these cars can perceive their surroundings and navigate around obstacles, as well as comply with traffic laws and arrive at a destination that has been predetermined. Fisher claims that they have already started their commercial driverless taxi service in a large city. According to him, Cruise, our autonomous ride-hail partner, is now delivering fared rides on the streets of San Francisco, and we will continue to see expansion in the space in the coming years. Cruise is already providing rides in San Francisco. Fisher responded that General Motors plans to provide personal autonomous vehicles as soon as mid-decade, when asked for a date. How far along are we in the development of self-driving cars? According to Kristen Collage, Vice President of Auto Benchmarking and Mobility Development at JD Power, most of the major auto manufacturers currently include semi-autonomous hands-free systems in their vehicles. Consider it an extra set of eyes that can provide some vehicle control, such as maintaining a distance with a vehicle in front of you, a form of adaptive cruise control, as well as maintaining your lane position for you and safely changing lanes as well. According to Collage, we cannot remove the driver from the equation at this time. The driver cannot tune out and cease paying attention to the road. On the other hand, it might appear as early as the year after next. Nick Miles from our Auto Expert, a veteran of 20 years as an automotive broadcaster and commentator, concurs that we are not even close to the Level 5, or fully autonomous stage yet, but that we are currently transitioning from Level 2 to Level 3, also known as conditional automation. Nick Miles has worked in the automotive industry as a broadcaster and commentator. As of right now, admits Miles, if you don't have your eyes looking forward, Tesla's Autopilot or Super Cruise with GM technology will disengage, and you'll have to put your hands back on the wheel. Next year, Level 3 autonomy will first come to California, followed by Nevada, Miles says. This means that you don't necessarily have to have your eyes on the road, so you can play Sudoku or watch a video, for example. Super Cruise expansion announced. Even in its current form, driving without using your hands is becoming more widely available. This past week, General Motors announced that it will shortly increase the size of its Super Cruise road network, which will result in the construction of hundreds of thousands of more miles of roads in both the United States and Canada. Later on in this year, the upgrade will be made available over the air to GM automobiles that were constructed using the VIP electrical design. There will not be any additional cost associated with receiving this update. This expansion adds several additional state and federal routes, a combination of undivided and divided highway roads, including the Mother Road, Route 66, Pacific Coast Highway, California Route 1, Overseas Highway, US Route 1, and the Trans-Canada Highway, which travels through all 10 provinces of Canada and totals more than 4,645 miles. Super Cruise currently operates on map-divided highways, also known as interstates. What are the limitations that prevent cars from driving themselves completely? Collage stated that the challenges have many different facets. Sure, it's technically tough for the vehicle to handle all situations, with a high level of confidence for the system to match that type of performance, the spokesperson said. But we're up for the challenge. According to Collage said certainly, there are regulatory difficulties as well, which vary from state to state, which makes it challenging. And a significant portion of my job is centered on the consumer acceptable barrier. And the truth is that many people have doubts regarding self-driving automobiles. According to Collage, customers do not necessarily express a desire for this kind of technology. In essence, they need a great deal more proof, and they want to know how it's going to help their life. Additionally, there are concerns about loss of control, which may lead to accidents, and there is uncertainty regarding whether or not the vehicles can be hacked or hijacked. As a result, I believe that it will be quite some time before fully autonomous vehicles are introduced into the market. Regarding the regulatory and/or legislative difficulties that exist on a state-by-state basis, Miles presents a potential obstacle. Revenue from reckless drivers. Miles adds, consider that autonomous cars don't break the law, and there are some cities in the United States that make close to 100% of their income by traffic offenses, like speeding and running red lights, which brings up an interesting point. Consider that autonomous cars don't break the law. The expense of developing fully autonomous vehicles is another possible barrier to their widespread use. These are advanced and complicated systems, and not only are we already in a chip crisis, but consider that 50% of the world's neon comes from Ukraine, which is used in the manufacturing of semiconductors in a country that is in the midst of a war, says Miles. This is a problem for us because not only are we already in a chip crisis, but we are also in a chip crisis. So that is not making the situation any better either. There are also other concerns, such as questions of insurance and liability. According to Miles, the vast majority of manufacturers do not wish to file for Level 3 because it places the liability on the manufacturer and not the individual. As a sector, there are numerous issues that require resolution, but I have faith that we will get there in the end. What are your thoughts on this topic? Please tell us in the comment section given below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing videos.